Yo, yo, yo. What up, what up, what up, my bet and family? We back with another video here at No Limit Bets. And in today's video, I'm going to be bringing y'all my top 4 picks for tonight's Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Celtics and the Heat, as the Celtics once again look to stay alive and force a Game 7. And obviously, the Heat are looking to close things out. But before we get started, if you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's truly appreciated. We're currently on the road to 2,000 subscribers, and we're less than 830 subscribers away from hitting that mark. So I definitely appreciate all the love and support that you guys have shown thus far. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into today's video. Before I get to my top 4 picks, I did just want to do a quick recap of the last time we were here for Game 5. In that game, we didn't do so good as we were only able to go 1-3. Malcolm Brogdon ended up as a reboot or DMP as he did not play in the second half. And the only one that was able to green for us was Marcus Smart. Now, here tonight, we definitely look to bounce back for Game 6. So let's go ahead and hop into my top 4 picks. Now, to get it started with my first pick, I'm going to be going to the fantasy score prop. And I'm going to be taking playoff Jimmy over 50.5 fantasy score. And as you guys can see, over his last 5, he's averaging just below this number at 49.1 fantasy score per game in this series, going over in 3 out of the 5 games of this series. Now, the only 2 times he didn't go over, which were Game 3 and Game 5. In Game 3, that was a blowout in the Heat's favor. He did not play a single minute in the fourth quarter, and neither did he play a single minute in the fourth quarter in Game 5 either. So the 2 that he hasn't been able to hit in those 2 games were the 2 games that he didn't play in the fourth quarter. And obviously, I'm very confident that this game is going to be close and he's going to be playing in the fourth quarter here in this one. As we know, playoff Jimmy, he's going to bring an all-around game. He's going to give you the points, the rebounds, assists. But he's also, the type of player, he's a two-way player. He's the type of player that also is going to bring it in the defensive end, as he's averaging 3.4 blocks and steals per game in this series combined. Also with that, he's averaging 24 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, and 6 assists per game. So I expect playoff Jimmy to be in full effect here in Game 6. So I'm going to be taking him over his 50.5 fantasy score line. Now for my second pick, I'm going to go to the points category, and I'm going to be taking Bam Adebayo over 17.5 points. As you guys can see, over his last 5, or pretty much in this series, he's averaging 16.2, which is below this line, only hitting the over in 2 out of the 5 games, of this series. Now, one of the games, which was Game 3, really don't want to really put too much on that. As I mentioned, it was a blowout, so he didn't play in the fourth quarter of that game either. Game 4 and 5, though, have been pretty disappointment, have been rough games for him. As you guys could see, in Game 5, he only scores 10 points. And in Game 6, he did end up scoring 16 points, but had 6 turnovers. So definitely expect Bam here to get back on track here in Game 6 offensively. Also in Game 5, he did not shoot a single free throw after shooting at least 4 free throws a game in the first 5 games of this series. So also the Heat are definitely going to need his scoring here tonight. So I'm going to be rocking with Bam Adebayo over 17.5 points for my second pick. Now for my third and fourth pick, I'm going to be going to the Boston side of things. I'm going to start us off with that one with my third pick. I'm going to go to the turnovers category, and I'm going to be taking Jason Tatum over 3.5 turnovers. Now, as you guys can see, in the first 5 games of this series. He's averaging above this number at 4.2 turnovers per game, hitting the over in 4 out of the 5 games of this series. The only one that he did not hit it was in game 3, which he did not play in the fourth quarter. Now, as we know, Tatum is going to have the ball a lot in his hands. He's averaging 40 minutes per game in this series, and has a usage rate of 29%. So he has the ball a lot in his hands. And with that, obviously, you're bound to get some turnovers. Tatum is not the best passer there is, so I definitely expect some turnovers on his part. Also, the Heat's defense has done a great job at forcing Tatum to turn the ball over. Now, in the 9 games versus the Heat overall this season, which obviously includes the regular season and this series, he's averaging 4 turnovers pretty much per game. And in the Eastern Conference Finals last year against this Heat team, he averaged 4.7 turnovers. So overall, this Heat defense have done a good job at forcing Tatum to turn the ball over, and I expect that to continue here in Game 6. So I'm gonna be taking Jason Tatum over 3.5 turnovers for my third pick. Now, for my fourth and last pick is gonna be an under. I'm going to be going to the PRA category, and I'm going to be taking the under on Derek White's 19.5 PRAs. Now, as you guys can see in the first 5 games of this series, he's averaging below this line at 18 PRAs, hitting the over in only 2 out of the 5 games of this series. The 2 that he did hit, game 4, he did just barely just make it over, finishing with 20. And in game 5, that was a game that he pretty much couldn't miss, as he goes over with 28 PRAs. But I definitely expect some regression here in game 6 after the way he shot the ball in game 5. He shot 72.7% from the field and 75% from 3, making 6 out of his 8 3-point attempts. So that was a great shooting night. I mean, he just couldn't miss. So definitely expect the Heat defense to focus more on him, make it tough on him. I definitely expect the Heat defense here in Game 6 to be in full effect. So I definitely expect some regression here from him. Also, for the series, he is shooting 57% from the field and 58% from the field. So, I mean, he's been shooting great throughout this series. He hasn't had a bad game yet, but I expect that to be in Game 6. And as far as in the PRAs, why I like the under on PRAs, if he really isn't scoring the ball, he's not going to give you much else, as he's only averaging 3.8 rebounds and assists combined in this series so far. So I'm going to be taking Derek White under 19.5 PRAs for my fourth and last pick. Now, just to recap, we're going to be taking the over on Jimmy Butler's 50.5 fantasy score, the over on Bam Adebayo's 17.5 points, the over on Jason Tatum's 3.5 turnovers, and the under on Derek White's 19.5 PRAs. And we're going to be placing a $10 entry for the possibility of winning $100. So let's go ahead and place that entry. And that's going to be it for today's video, y'all. Now, just a quick reminder, if the Celtics are able to win, we'll be back here Monday for Game 7. If the Heat are able to win and close out this series, we won't have an NBA game until Thursday, June 1st, when the finals start. So we'll see what happens. But other than that, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the game tonight, and let's get this money.